Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magical Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Bryson. Bryson is from Tennessee in the US, but he lives in Germany. So let's see what Bryson has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Bryson. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you. So, tell me, how was your day today?
It was good. It was a little bit rainy and cold, but that's 6 months out of the year in Cologne, Germany. It's rainy, cold, something, you know.
I'm in London, so it's very similar. It's very similar the weather.
Yeah. But we have Carnival. So Carnival here is a whole season. It starts on Elfte, the 11th of November, and then it stops during Advent, and then it picks up again on what is it, the Three Kings Day, and then we start partying again and do um, events up until Ash Wednesday. Yeah.
Um, and Cologne is the place where you're born and raised, Bryson.
No, I grew up in Tennessee in the USA.
I see. I could see the American accent, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and why Germany? Why Cologne in Germany?
Usually I make the joke that Germany because I don't have enough money for Switzerland. So, but that's not like a good joke to make. Some people take that the wrong way. My husband and I did a honeymoon here in Germany, and we really enjoyed it. And then we came here a couple of other times, and then we had the opportunity to move here in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the biggest joy of waking up in Cologne in Germany every single morning?
For me, it's just being able to get up and go for a walk, and then I'm there. It's from where I live, it's 3,000 steps to the Cologne Cathedral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so and that's really cool. Just, I'm gonna go for my morning walk. I may make a little coffee to go, and then I'm like, oh, there's the Kölner Dome. Oh, that's nice. Or, just the little things like that. Just that it's so walkable, and the people are just very friendly. This part of Germany, the Rhineland, you could just talk to strangers. Other parts
Amazing.
of Germany and other countries, if you do that, people think you're weird.
And where's about in Tennessee you come from?
I grew up in East Tennessee, like near Dollywood, like near Dolly Parton's theme park. Dollywood, like, yeah. So
Very fair.
we're from the same area, so I have the same accent. So yeah.
And what do you do for work for living, Bryson?
I work as a researcher at a university, at a law school in cross-cultural diversity and European law. But
Wow.
my background is really therapy. I have a master's in mental health recovery from the University of Hertfordshire,
Wow.
and then the advanced diploma in cognitive behavioral therapy from University of Derby in the UK.
Wow.
And then in Germany, I'm doing the systemic family therapy training to be a systemic family therapist. So, yes, I work at the university and do research. I like research, and I think it's helpful research, but I really
Mhm.
like to talk with people and listen. So that's what got me into the therapeutic work. So I'm my own business, and I do individual and couple and throuple counseling. So sometimes I have some thruples.
I love that. And
Yeah.
your business, your work, it's more let's say based for the LGBTQ plus community or not?
Probably like 80 to 90% of the clients I work with are in that community. I do have some people who are not. Um, like I do see some straight couples, and then I do see a lot of the LGBTQ plus community. Like that, that's my background. So it's like,
Amazing.
and it's easier, I think, sometimes to talk to someone who has the same lived experience or someone you don't have to explain everything to.
Totally.
Yeah.
And your husband is from Tennessee as well?
No, he's from the Cincinnati, Ohio.
I see. Amazing. Okay. During the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Okay.
Amazing. But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like you to tell me what has been the highlight of 2025 for you so far?
The highlight was spending the New Year's with my husband.
Wow,
Yeah, I mean, just starting the new year, Sylvester off with him. That was nice.
sweet. In Cologne,
No, in the U.S.
the US. Okay,
Where it
perfect.
was like I go back and forth.
I was about to tell you because if you're in Cologne, because one of my best friend, he lives in Eindhoven in Holland, not far from Cologne.
Oh yeah.
So I go there like at least 3 times a year, and I was there for New Year's Eve. So maybe I was just wondering if you were around that as well. Bryson, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I am.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay? Let's do it. We are matching the same t-shirt color.
Yeah, I'm wearing a little blue, but mine has a little bear.
I see. I don't have a little
No,
bear in
it's just I like that there's a little bear.
Just before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay?
Okay.
All right. First question is usually, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up?
Um, the first thing I think about is really a prayer I do in the morning. It's it translates to English to like grateful I am. So it's a Jewish prayer, but it's also kind of mindfulness, being grateful in the moment. So that's the first thing I do. Is like I'm like grateful I am. I'm here. I'm awake. Yeah.
And what's the meaning of life for you, Bryson?
For me, the meaning of life is about connections and connectedness and helping others, and being here in an ethical way. Because I mean, you can make a lot of money and then set up a charity or a trust. Since you're in the UK, you all have trust, you know, to help people. But really, you should have helped people all along the way.
Amazing. And so far, tell me something that life has taught you that left a mark in your life.
Uh, like a physical mark or an emotional mark?
Emotional.
Oh, okay. Because when I was 10 years old, I was in a car accident um, that put me in a wheelchair for about 18 months. And I still have some scars from all the orthopedic surgery. Um, and that left a mark because, I mean, it was also, my mother's first husband died in that car accident. But, just the way it taught me that life can change in a blink of an eye. I was just a 10-year-old in the vehicle reading my little book, boop, 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 and then we got hit head on by a tow truck driver.
Wow.
The irony, the tow truck driver hit us. They usually tow people from the wreck.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, that taught me that life can change in the blink of a moment. And that did leave a mark on me. I mean, physically, I have all these random scars. But also like emotionally and spiritually.
Absolutely. I think those moments in life, as you said, like suddenly something just happened to us without our, let's say expectation, anything just happened and you go like, you know what? That's life. That's life.
Yeah.
Sometimes just give us those moments. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Next question. Let's do it. Yes, you always can dance with me. Next question is, what was the biggest punishment have you ever received?
I don't really think like I've done anything bad to get a punishment. I mean, I may have gotten a speeding ticket a time or two. Um, and I think really the biggest punishment for most people is your own negative self-talk and
Hmm.
just being overly critical on yourself on things when really, most of the time things aren't a big deal, or you just need to apologize. You just need
Totally,
to apologize to begin with, and not because I think you beat yourself up more.
totally. Sometimes we are our worst enemy.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Next question, let's do it. Before the next question, Bryson, tell me what's the biggest joy of being a therapist? What do you like the most about your career? And the opposite, what do you find most challenging?
Um, Probably the biggest joy is to give people tools to help themselves, or
Mhm.
helping them figure out that there's more right with them than wrong with them, and helping them find solutions, because people know their problems, but sometimes like their solution is right there and then they don't really think about their strengths. um yeah, and the opposite is, um sometimes it's just really difficult to convince someone to like themselves.
Mhm.
If people don't like themselves or love themselves, it's really, really, really difficult to get, beyond that, to get them to have coping skills, to get them to feel connected to others, or hope, or joy. I mean, if they don't like themselves, you've got to start with that. That's the foundation of the house, is that they are okay with themselves.
What do you think, us people, we know, as you mentioned, we know the problem, but somehow we are maybe scared to go there, or maybe we are afraid, or maybe we don't want to face it. Why is that, in your opinion?
I think that's one of the number one defense mechanisms, is being avoidant and
Mhm.
avoiding the problem, avoiding the situation. But really, I mean, you can know your problem, but if you know the solutions or your strengths, you can work around it.
Mhm.
I'm 5'3". I think that's 160 centimeters. My problem is I'm short, so I need a steppy stool if I need something off the top shelf. So my solution, my tool is the steppy stool. And for someone with like anxiety, maybe it could be that they do a mindfulness meditation. Maybe they try journaling. Maybe they find some coping skills. I mean, it's like a buffet. It's like you go to the carvery, you get a piece of meat, and then you go to the buffet and pick. I mean, that's therapy, and you find what works for you from the buffet, and that's life. You got to find what works for you.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, what has been the lowest point of your life?
Um, the lowest point, in March of 2020, I had Corona. So I was one of the early people with Corona, and I was incredibly, incredibly sick.
Mhm.
Here I am living in a different country. I just had a lot of complications with it. And then that isolation of being sick, and then the fear of going to the hospital. When you went to the hospital at that point, you went alone and no one could see you.
Totally.
So, I mean, that was a very low point, just the isolation and then the illness of it.
And the opposite, what has been the happiest point of your life so far?
Um, I think that it's a thread of happy points for me. It's like life is a tapestry. So the happy point, is my husband, Mr. Sweetie. Because
Oh,
I think about like our first date. We went on this date, and I had a coupon for a lunch special. It was like $5, buy one get one free Italian lunch with lasagna and a salad. And he went along with that, even though it's been really cheap. And then, 12 years later, we're still together.
wow. Okay, so your husband is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message. What would you say?
I did all my chores. Yeah. No, he knows I think about him when he's working. So then I
Sweet.
talk to him. So yeah.
And for those 12 years, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from him?
Probably how to take feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a very I'm trying to think. We're both very opinionated, and so to take feedback has been something I've learned from him.
Beautiful. Next question. Let's do it. All right. Next question is, what do you like the most about yourself?
I think I like the most about myself is my sense of humor. I can find the humor in things. Even think, and I think that humor is like Deutsch is a Hilfsmittel. So it's like a helping thing that kind of can help you through situations. So I like my humor and my personality.
And if you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
Yeah, I would like to be myself because, I can talk to anyone and a lot of people can't do that.
And you've always been this way, Bryson?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me something. How was for you growing up as a gay queer boy back in Tennessee in the US? Did you have the support of your family? It was a bit difficult. I know it's in the South. How was it?
It was quite difficult. I mean, the high school I went to did superlatives, like most likely to succeed, most likely to whatever. But they did a special funny edition in the school newspaper, and they put me and this open lesbian girl as the most likely to be on Jerry Springer.
Well,
because being queer, gay, whatever was just like, oh, you're going to end up on that Jerry Springer show. But we literally had people who were married, divorced, and remarried in the high school with children. And I mean, I'm thinking this is more things to be on Jerry Springer than me, So for me, that was hard. And then there were other things that were hard with it. My family at one point said they were accepting and then they weren't accepting. And then my mom sent me to the conversion therapy where they try to make you not be gay. So that was a quite difficult time for me as a teenager. And then in hindsight, I think that did shape my personality, and it's made me more open and more sure of myself and more confident.
and beside the situation in school, did you like school growing up?
Yeah, because I had access to books and I love to read, and I liked the library, and I enjoyed it because you could learn different things, and I knew that your education could be an opportunity for you to do something different with yourself, do something better,
And who was your favorite teacher?
Oh, goodness. My favorite teacher was Dr. Trish McCurry, and she was my marketing teacher, and she was really just wonderful. She encouraged me to continue my education. She was a fashion buyer for department stores and then went into teaching to move back to Tennessee to take care of her parents. But she was very, very encouraging of me with my education. And when I took a pause and she saw me working at a grocery store, she, saw me and really encouraged me to go back to school. Yeah, Dr.
Wow.
Trish McCurry.
Beautiful. 3 questions left. Let's do it.
3 questions.
I can see you like dancing, yeah?
I'm not particularly good, but I like it.
There are no rules. Dancing, there are no rules. It's always about moving yourself. Before the next question, you've been living in Germany. When you think about Tennessee, about about the US, what's the best memory that comes to your mind? What do you miss the most about your country?
Oh, I usually make the joke that I miss Halloween in Hawaii the most. But, if my family's listening, I miss my family the most. Um, um, I do miss people, um, that I don't get to see as much anymore and spending time with those people. Like my in-laws. My last name is my married name, but I miss my in-laws, my other family, my friends. But I do miss Halloween. I'm not gonna lie. German Halloween is nothing. Like it is just, it is just like something you bought at the pound shop or the Euro shop. Compared to American Halloween, which is just like wild. Like, ooh. But Christmas here is great.
I like that. I don't like Halloween, but Christmas here is great. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the trade-off.
It's interesting to say about Halloween because I was working for Disney Cruise Line in Orlando a few years ago, and it was the time Halloween. I was working a cruise ship, and I remember the evening, Halloween evening, when the guests came for dinner.
Yeah,
I felt like in a Hollywood movies. I felt like, my God, that's the that's what Halloween is about.
yeah.
Everyone dress up like properly. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Next question is, where are you planning to go for your next vacation?
If it works out for me to go, I'm going to go to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico.
Huh?
Yeah, it'll be nice. Be warm and sunny.
And do you plan to stay in Europe for a long while, Byron?
Um, yeah, do I plan to stay in Europe a long while? Yeah, I think definitely. I've applied to do a PhD here,
Hmm.
so I want to finish that. And with the way our lives work, it's okay for us to go back and forth.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question is, what is one movie you could watch over and over again?
One movie I could watch. I'm trying to think. Probably the Mae West movie, She Done Him Wrong. I think that's the one with the Cary Grant. I think that was his first movie. And it's just like a fun, campy, chill movie, you know, with Mae West being kind of sassy to people. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Tell me something, Bryson. When, of course, coaching people, talking to people in your sessions, I'm sure you deal with a lot of, you know, let's say some traumas, some topics
Mm-hmm.
can be a bit, difficult to get into it. There's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of people open up. It can be, I'm sure, a bit hard sometimes. How do you find for you personally, for you, how do you find like a way for you to disconnect, not to get this to your personal life, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's called professional distance. I mean, and it's okay for me to have empathy and understanding. And, in therapy, they talk about having unconditional positive regard for your client. Um, and yes, there's that piece of it that, you build that up so that you can have those boundaries between you and the person and their
Mhm.
problems. I mean, you're there to help them find solutions, but their problems aren't necessarily your problems to take on your back. And if it's something that you're not comfortable with or trained in, it's okay to make a referral. And that's what you need to do. Like if someone says, oh, I lost my apartment, well, then you refer them to the social worker because, if you're not a social worker, that's not your area. Or if someone has a kind of their trauma that I'm not trained in, then I would, get them a referral.
In your opinion, what's the biggest stigma in the gay scene, nowadays that still need to be broken, that still need to somehow, work on it, in your opinion?
Um, like I did my bachelor's research on stigma of people living with HIV and AIDS.
Mhm.
and how stigma is a barrier to their healthcare and healthcare seeking behaviors. And I think that stigma has went down because of medication and biomedical interventions like PrEP.
Yep.
But I still think there's a lot of stigma around mental health,
Mhm.
and people try to put on this facade of that they're shiny happy people, but they're not. They have problems. I
Totally.
mean, I think 25% of people experience some kind of mental health something in their life, and that could
Mhm.
be depression, anxiety, insomnia counts in that category. I think there's still a lot of stigma around mental health and seeking
Mhm.
therapy.
Amazing. Great. Last question, ready?
Okay,
Let's do it. Last one.
okay, let's do it.
Last question is, do you have any nicknames?
Oh, any nicknames? My friends call me Sweet Bryson.
Okay.
Sweet Bryson. Yeah.
How about your husband? How he calls you?
Oh, he'll call me Schatz or Schatzi, which means sweetie or treasure in German. You know.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so then yet, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words, just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family,
Oh, family, and connection.
money,
Money is options.
fear,
Mind killer.
hmm, love,
Shotzi.
life,
Possibilities.
religion,
Love.
sex,
Shotzi.
politics,
FDP.
take a free democrat. Okay, cool, I got it. Friendship,
Connectedness.
desire.
Chocolate.
Oh, nice one. Regret,
Okay.
success,
Perseverance.
wish.
3.
Oh, I like that. Happiness,
Possible.
one word for Tennessee.
Dolly.
Of course. One word for USA.
Interessant. Interesting.
One word for Germany.
Opportunities.
The last one now, one word for therapist.
Cardigans.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your husband for a coffee and I'm going to ask him, define Bryson in one positive and one negative word only. What he would say?
He would say sweet, and then the negative would be listening. So he wouldn't say anything.
Let's play now Bryson in the magic box and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, what's your favorite German word?
My favorite German word. Friendschaft, like friendship.
How they say friendship?
Yeah, Friendschaft.
Oh, it's very close. It's very similar to
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
I like that. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Bryson.
How do you find connectedness to others?
Wow, great question. Great question.
Because you're Brazilian,
From Brazil, yeah.
but you live in London.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
How do I find connection with people? What a great question. You know what? being myself. I think being
Mm-hmm.
myself is the way for me to connect with people somehow, even though people they don't know you, they never met you, but as long as sometimes even though you don't know people, but sometimes you feel themselves the way they are. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
if you know that you are being your truly self, not just for people but for yourself, people they can spot that. And for me, that's the connection start with any person around you, because they're gonna see the real person there. So for me, you know what I mean, when I was younger I was a bit, maybe I think all of us go through phases that we want to impress, we want to be, you know what I mean, to look nice, this and that. However, when I realized that the only tool you have is about being yourself, that, trust me, the right people will come, the right people will spot you, and that's how the connection starts. And I think that's the main thing for you to be able to connect with people. Just be yourself. I know sometimes it can be difficult and hard because different facts. However, if you try to be yourself all the time, trust me, it will be a good way for you to connect with people. Yeah.
Nice.
Did you enjoy the interview?
I did. I did.
Thanks again for being so kind and sweet and accept my invitation. But before you go, Bryson, if you can share a positive word, or sorry, a positive message or anything that you live by.
Well, I'm really just gonna lean into the being from East Tennessee and the Dolly Parton quote, um, because she's always big on literacy, and then she has the library that she does in the U.S. and in the U.K. and around the world. But Dolly Parton says, if you can read, you can find books on anything you want. You can self-educate yourself, even if you can't afford to go to school. So, I mean, you have that opportunity. If you can read, you can find things that interest you to help develop yourself, and it'll give you more options.
Wow, beautiful message like that. Amazing. Thanks so much. Thanks again regarding to
Oh,
your and friends, and you keep in touch. Okay?
oh,
So
well, thanks.
have a
Bye.
good night.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.